Welcome to the second hour of the show. Aaron Jackson, Mark Paulette here in the Greenway Equipment Studios, brought to you by Next Home Experience. Next Home is the market leader. Get looped and get sold with Next Home Experience. Also brought to you by Uno Pizzeria and Grill, where they have late night deals every night in the bar or lounge, 9 p.m. to close. $6 apps, $5 cheeseburgers, individual cheese or pepperoni deep dish. At Stillwater Avenue in Bangor. That's 725 Stillwater Avenue in Bangor to be specific. Order to go at 947-5000 or unos.com. All right, we said we'd take callers for the Home Run Derby. Number one, the caller gets their own.
Yes, they get their pick of the litter. Aaron doesn't even have to reach into the bucket for our first caller. That would be Bill in Bar Harbor. Bill, how's it down on the island today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I golfed up in Waterville today and just getting back to the island right now. Beating the traffic down here sucks, but I'm here.
I was going to say, did you successfully avoid the tourists?
Oh, no, you're never going to avoid them this time of year down here. Never.
There's that blueberry soft serve ice cream place that I have, like I dream about it, that's opened every time in the summer. And it's like, do I want to go down there just to get that ice cream? And I do, but at the same time, I don't want to deal with the parking and the traffic and the people. So it's tough, man.
I can get you. Yeah, I can get you in here a better way. If you come in the Kibo Road, I got parking for you. I'll put you on the back of the moped. I'll take you down.
Look at that.
I'll get you your ice cream.
Wow.
We got hookups.
Love it.
This is why we're giving Bill his pick of the bucket. The pick of contestants tonight. Do you need the names, Bill, that are in the field tonight?
I don't.
You don't?
No,
He's got one.
No.
Who do you want?
And see, I'd love to pick the Red Sox kid there, but you got to go with a hometown favorite. You got to go with a guy that I think's pretty gritty. So I'm definitely taking Schwarber.
Gotta go with Schwarber. 32 homers this year in his building. That's not a bad pick, Bill. That is not a bad pick. All right, you are in there with Kyle Schwarber. Once again, if your player wins the Home Run Derby contest, you get $25 to Heroes and a couple of movie passes to Bangor Mall Cinemas. Bill, keep living your best life on this Monday.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, from Bill in Bar Harbor, we go to Nathan in Bangor. Hopefully I'm working the phone lines in the right direction here. Continue to call as well as we open up phone lines here, 992-9029. Nathan, this you?
Yes, it is.
All right, Nathan in Bangor. How's it going today?
Good. Yourself?
Not bad. Bad news for you because we changed it up on the fly and said the first person was going to get their pick of the bucket. The first name that Aaron pulled out of the bucket for you was Kyle Schwarber.
Well, no. So I pulled that out intentionally because the name, because I didn't want to do that to somebody.
All right. I thought you pulled out Kyle
I
Schwarber on your
right?
first attempt for Nathan.
For me, so now I get my pick, right?
Well, I think there's potential to get you better than Bryce Harper in this bucket.
I should note that he did not bribe me with ice cream to make that decision. That was actually Mark's decision to let the first person.
Yep.
So I had nothing
It was
to
made
do with
ahead
it.
of time.
You, however, get Jordan Walker. Big dude. Big dude, hits a lot of homers.
22 homers on the season, I believe. Big RBI man in St. Louis, plus 800 to win the event tonight.
We'll take it.
He'll take it. No Bryce Harper, but he's in there with Jordan. All right, thank you for calling in, Nathan.
Thank you.
From Nathan in Bangor, we go over to John in Belfast. John, how's it going?
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Two names are out of the bucket. That would be Kyle Schwarber and Jordan Walker. Aaron's got his hand in there. Who you pulling out?
Bryce Harper. I was one off for poor Nate.
Poor Nathan. Hopefully he's not listening anymore.
Yeah. So there you go. Bryce Harper is your guy. It's weird to see two guys from the same team in the Home Run Derby, but I get it. Yeah, you got Philadelphia. It's hard not to do that.
John, you sound okay with Bryce Harper there, one of the other hometown guys.
I'll take that. He's at home. He should be comfortable. Let's see him swing it.
He likes to put on a show, too. He's a showman, so
yeah,
he should be ready for the stage. All right, we say goodbye to John in Belfast, and now we are bringing strangers into the program. I don't know these people's identity.
Stranger danger.
Who's this?
This is Fred from Milford.
Fred from Milford.
Stranger danger. I told you.
First one. Stranger danger. Fred in Milford. Who do you got for him, Aaron?
Well, Junior Caminero, who has 28 homers this year. So
that's a pretty good pick to pull out of the bucket.
Now, I have to ask, while we have you on the phone, Fred, you call sometimes, and you're normally pretty optimistic about the Red Sox. We were begging in the first hour for someone to call in and give us an optimistic take and make us believers in this Red Sox team, and I did not see the phone line lit up with your name. We only had Peter.
Sorry, I was at work. I couldn't pull away, but I wanted to call in, trust me. But no, I've been relatively optimistic all year. You know, you get kind of down when they were, 17 games or whatever it was below 500. But I'm looking at the net positive, and they're doing the things that they need to do right. Playing defense, playing small ball, generating runs, bunting people in. That bunt from, I can't remember his name, but that was right over the pitcher's head the other day was perfect.
Everybody's bunting on this team.
Yeah.
Chang, Siegler, Durbin, dropping down bunts, hitting
Bunting
homers.
away.
Just generating the runs that they need to do instead of just trying to hit the home run. When they're getting the timely home runs that they need, but it's just good to see them playing all facets of the game, not just trying to capitalize on a few.
All right, there
That
we go.
it is.
We said we were going to let people have positive takes on the Red Sox today because we've been very negative, to be fair. So thank you, Fred. Do we need Fred's info?
Yep, Fred, just hang on the line for me. I'll come back with your number.
All right, we go to line 2 or line 3, I guess. Who's
or
this?
line 5 at this point. I don't
Yeah,
really know.
it's a number.
Who do we have?
This is Paul from Corinth.
Paul in Corinth. Back into the bucket goes Aaron.
Ben Rice.
Oh,
29 homers so far this year, though he plays for the Yankees, so a lot of them are not really homers at all. But that's okay. He still hits a lot.
That would have been my pick anyway, so I'm glad I get him.
There we go. Lefty in that ballpark at Citizens Bank. You can let it fly there.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, hang on for me. I'll be back with you in just a moment.
All right, so we have one more, and then Mark's got to get some people off the line. Save the number, 992-9029. I'll have to make some things up here on the fly here in a minute, but for now, we have someone on the Heroes Hotline. Who's this?
Hello?
Chris,
Chris, where are you checking in from?
Pittsfield, Maine.
All right, Chris in Pittsfield.
This one was really wrapped up in there, Mark. You have Jack Caglianone.
Jack Caglianone. The fewest home runs in the field, right? With 15. But
He does
still
have 15.
He's a big dude. Big,
Yeah.
strong dude for the Kansas City Royals. All right, Chris, hang on the line for me, and I will...
I guess. I guess.
I mean, you don't have to.
to.
If you have no interest in the prize, you could cheer against him and root for one of your competitors here. Hang on for me, Chris. I'll be back with you in just a second here.
Thanks.
All right, so again, save that phone number, 992-9029. Mark's going to work his magic fingers to get some people off the line so you can get on the line. We have two people left in the bucket tonight. I believe we have Muntaka Murakami, and I don't know who the other one is, still left in there. We're brought to you by Heroes Sports Grill and Entertainment Center. Heroes is the official sports grill of the Drive and the place to be in downtown Bangor, and at heroesportsgrill.com. Again, you can catch that home run derby tonight. If you don't want to watch it, because why would you want to watch the ball fly out of the ballpark, or maybe you're traveling, you can listen to it right here on 929 The Ticket. We'll have it for you starting at 8 p.m., Major League Baseball's Home Run Derby. A bunch of guys in it. They're in Philly. Kyle Schwarber, the favorite to win it, because why wouldn't he be? He just hits home runs every time you look at him, it feels like. But Bryce Harper in there as well. So some interesting choices in terms of guys from Philadelphia, or playing for Philadelphia at the very least. That are going to make it interesting tonight. So, Mark.
Ooh, did I leave my mic on that whole time?
Did you? I kind of could hear you, but I just assumed it was background noise in the studio.
Yeah. No hot mic incident there.
Nope. All right, let's go back to the Heroes Hotline. Who's this?
Burt Valero from Moosehead.
Hey, I was telling Mark that I was like, Bert's not going to call in. He's a wimp.
I've been trying to call in.
All right, we got you.
Connection a little spotty up there on Moosehead today?
Just a little.
Yeah.
Depends on what side of Moosehead you're on. You're either...
I'm on the Rockwood side.
Okay.
The real side.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he's a little further away from civilization.
Always love to hear from Burt, especially in the summer. I feel like you're always up here hanging around in the summer. And you believe, before we get to who I gave you for the home run derby, Burt, you're a believer in the Red Sox. Why?
I think that the kids that were, brought up early in the season, from the farm teams, are now really starting to hit their stride and believing in themselves. So, a little bit, immaturity at the start of the year. And I think now they're getting used to the pitching, the hitting aspect of the game. And I just see, they're excited, they're young, and I just believe in them.
And you always,
I think they're gelling together, at the right time.
Vibes can be contagious for a young team.
And Burt, you always bring the positive vibes. I'm kind of sad. So we used to go to some Buccaneers games together, then they took away my season tickets because I said I wasn't going to enough games. So I don't see you as much as I used to. But whenever I did see you, man, it was always like smile on the face, ready for a conversation, ready to have a good time. That's Burt.
All right, I appreciate that. Hey, we had a great last year. We had a great tailgate when the Bucks played the Patriots, and we had another great one when the Lightning played the Bruins. That was awesome, that outdoor series. We had a lot of people from Bangor.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that was cool, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It was unbelievable.
All right, Bert, you ready to find out who we got you from the bucket?
Yep, let's go.
Muntaka Murakami. So 20 home runs. Now, he would have a lot more, but he's been hurt. He just came back like this past week. So
he's a guy who he set the Japanese record, hit like 25 and 50 games his last year over there. He's got some pop.
All right, let's go.
All right. Hey, thank you, Bert, for calling in. You proved me wrong. I said there's no way Bert's going to call in, and you did. And I appreciate that about you, Bert.
All right, brother. It's good to hear from both of you guys.
Yeah, same to you.
There we go.
All right, we're starting to feel the positivity.
Bert's good to go because I think you know how to get a hold of him there.
Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
We got one more name in the bucket. Who has been waiting patiently for it? Hello?
This is Jim in Cherryfield.
Jim in Cherryfield, hanging around to get that final name.
All right, now if you've been listening, Jim, you might know who you have. Do you know?
You're making Jim do the work here?
I haven't heard all the names, but is it Wilson Contreras?
It is, in fact, Wilson
Contreras. You got our guy.
You got the Red Sox.
Now, Wilson has the longest odds to win tonight at plus 1,400. I don't agree with that because he's a strong dude that I feel like can put on a BP kind of display.
I heard that, but he got those odds because he's injured?
Well, he's got a little bit of like a hip or something going on.
Didn't he hit his left foot on something? Or
yeah,
the ball hit his left foot?
Right before he began serving his suspension, he fouled a ball off his foot and had to leave the game, tried to play defensively there and had to get taken out. But I think he said that, like, if he wasn't suspended yesterday, he would have been in the lineup yesterday.
I think what it is it's age bias because most of the guys in this thing outside of Schwarber are under 30. And I feel like he's 34.
He's the old man.
He's kind of the old man of the contest. And so people are probably thinking he's going to get tired just swinging repeatedly over and over again. But you know what? Sometimes veteran experience.
I think Wilson could surprise some people tonight, Jim. I think Wilson will surprise some people. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but he's not going to finish in last. How about that?
Well, no, that's what, like, Jaron Duran surprised everybody and got me the home run ticket for May.
There you go. That he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to make Jim a 2-time home run derby winner here on the ticket.
All right, so stay on the line so we can get your information. All right, Jim?
Will do.
All right, we are brought to you by Novus Auto Glass. Call Novus Auto Glass today at 945-6688 to get your windshield repaired or replaced. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for our drive poll. Red Sox related, and if you want to continue the recent string of positivity from our listeners about the Red Sox, give us a call, 992-9029. We've had 3 people now say that they are believers. Trying to bring some positivity to the show because certainly
we will flip those numbers next with the drive poll.
Yeah, we certainly will next. All right, welcome back into the drive. Brought to you by Dean's Detailing, the leader in auto detailing for over 55 years. Renew your vehicle's appearance and protect that auto investment. Book your appointment at deansdetailing.com. And by Goslin's Bakery, 334 Harlow Street in Bangor. Grab a breakfast sandwich on an English muffin or croissant, plus legendary donuts and pastries made since 1945. Or visit the new Goslin's Bakery in Delhi next to Hannaford in Brewer. All right, we said we would take callers here, 992-9029. We did have someone call during the break who said they're a believer.
Believer, yep, agreed with Burt.
But didn't want to stay on the line. I don't blame him. It was like a 3-minute break. So we have Peter in the first hour. We have Fred from Milford. So Peter Hancock, Fred Milford, Burt from Moosehead, and then
didn't get a name on this
fourth
individual.
Caller. But that is
lady called in and agreeing.
4 people that say that they are believers in this Boston Red Sox team. Now, I did this, or we said we were going to do this at the beginning of the show because, frankly, I do think that this studio has been quite negative about the Red Sox, and I believe rightfully so. I'm included in that camp. I include myself there, and I believe we are right that they're not a good baseball team. But
yeah, we haven't been unfair. We've been suffering through a poor first 80 games of the season and that has now been turned around in the last 15.
We're not willing to take the last 15-game stretch and say, okay, the Red Sox are back. Let's get on that bandwagon. Peter might be driving it from Hancock, but we are not hopping on yet. We're letting it ride by. For another ride.
Yeah, and you've been doing heavy lifting today, trying to bring the positivity to the airwaves, the Red Sox positivity.
I just want people to give us a different perspective. So 992-9029 if you'd like to do that.
It is not reflected in today's drive poll, which is what do the Red Sox have to do to make you believe in this season again? 16% say, I'm already there, baby. We're back. 16%. Another 16% say, get over 500 and stay there beyond the trade deadline. Then I'll begin to believe. Trade deadline is what, like August 2nd or 3rd this year? So you got another 3 weeks to get beyond 500 and stay there. 33%, this is the majority of any of the options, say go out and get a couple much-needed bats at the deadline. Then with their pitching, I could see a team worth getting behind. 9% say once they're in a playoff spot, I'll believe anything's possible. 26%, again, the second most popular option, not happening. I refuse to be fooled.
Ooh, okay. So they're just, they're done. They're out. It doesn't matter.
So 33% say if you go out there and add not just one bat, but multiple bats to this team, that's when you could get me to believe. And that's kind of that's the camp that I am in. 26% say not happening. So again, almost 60% saying either something needs to be added to this team or you're not getting me back.
So let's say they go out and they get Jeremy Pena, and that happens over the All-Star week. Are you in?
Well, it depends, because like the hypothetical we threw out at the end of last hour.
For Jake Bennett.
For Jake Bennett? Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. That's it.
I'm in on the surface. Jeremy still has to come to town and hold up his end of the bargain. Like,
sure.
If he comes and he hits 200 with one homer, then it's back to kind of being where we are right now and just having to be real, having to be relative about what it is that you're looking at.
Yeah. It's such a tough situation to be in because we know deep down what they are and who they are, and we've seen this movie over and over again. We had Wayne call in the first hour and give us the reminder that every year before the All-Star game, they win a bunch of games.
Again, 23, 8-1 entering the break. 24, 10-3 entering the break. Last year, 12-1, including 10 straight wins. This year, 14-2, including 9 straight wins.
And we know how all of those seasons ended. Some of them in the playoffs, but not for long. Most of them out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the odds are not in their favor. Something happens before the All-Star break to other teams, to them. I don't know what it is, where they all of a sudden find their way for a brief period of time. They make you believe, and then it all comes crumbling down.
Baseball is a marathon of a season. I'm not breaking any news there.
Yeah.
Within 162 games, every team goes through a spell like the Red Sox have currently. Maybe you don't win 9 in a row, but you string together something like 14 out of 18, let's say, on the strength of a couple of winning streaks. Whether you're a 60-win team, whether you're a 100-win team, those things just tend to happen over the course of a baseball season. The only common factor between those 4 years that we're talking about, 23 through this season, is that they get off to really bad starts every year. And throughout the course of 162, things either regress to the mean or rise to the mean. And I can't make a better case than that in saying why it is that the Red Sox have surged into the break the last 4 years, other than to say it just happens to be that stretch after really, really bad baseball when we expected better.
So you're just saying it's random.
I think it's that they're not as bad as they started this season. They're not as good as the last 16 games have showed. They're somewhere in the middle. And for whatever reason, 4 years in a row, it's just lined up this way. The schedule kind of breaks a little bit, and they can catch a little bit of momentum going into the break. But again, let's retrace through these years. Last year, they held on to it. They kept the momentum. They went from 2 games under 500 to 8 games over at the break and just built on that to an eventual wild card postseason spot.
Yeah.
But again, you were led by some real horses on that team. Garrett Crochet was having a Cy Young type year. Roman Anthony was having a Rookie of the Year type year. Wilson Contreras is having a career year, but I don't know that that's enough to carry this offense over the second half. Go back the year before that to 2024. They go in hot into the break, and then remember they come out and get smacked around by the Dodgers, who showed them what a real baseball team looks like. Fun. And then they went to Colorado after that and continued to fall apart a little bit. Year before that, 2024 and 2023, we were complaining about them trying to thread the needle at the deadline because they didn't really know where they were.
Danny Jansen year?
Yeah, it's like you're either in it or no. Danny was last year, wasn't he?
No, he was older
he 2 years ago?
He might have been 2. It might not have been 3, but
either way, like they're trying to thread the needle because are we selling? Are we buying? We don't really know. It's nothing has come of it except for last season when you were already set on that path.
That does feel like part of the problem to me is that every year they have this thing where they think they're in it, and then every year the response from the front office is very tepid, if anything. And so maybe they break that mold this year, and maybe they make a big splash instead of the tiny little moves at the margins that just don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Because if they don't, and 33% of our listeners agree with this, at least, really it's more if you actually were to condense the numbers, they're just not a good team. And so you need to make that move, multiple moves, according, again, to our listeners. And I would agree with that. Like, you need 2 bats.
And again, if John Henry hasn't done that for the better part of the last decade, why is he going to be convinced off a 9-game win streak and 14 out of 16?
Yeah.
If he refused to pay Mookie Betts after the 2018-19 season, whatever it was, Bogarts has to walk out the door because you can't fork over those contracts. You can't sign people on the open market to big 9-figure deals. I don't think he's going to be swayed by 9 games in the middle of July.
No, doesn't seem like it. So, but what is it? Sean McAdams said he's angry. He's getting angry. He's antsy.
And when that happens, he is certainly reactionary.
So maybe he'll be reactionary in a good way. I'm afraid he probably will not be, and we'll see the same thing happen. And ultimately what's going to happen, I feel like, is they're going to hold on to their pieces that they have, not get anything for the veterans that they could trade off, miss the playoffs anyway.
Greg Breslow gets decapitated.
Right. And then they end up letting Sonny Gray and all these guys just walk away for nothing.
Well, they're under contract next year. That's why.
That's true.
That's why they're saying they are so hesitant to let them go, because it's not just rentals. These are the guys you're building the World Series contender next year around.
How old is Sonny Gray?
These aren't my words. These are coming from the Red Sox and the people around them.
How old is Wilson Contreras?
I know. I'm saying strike while the iron's hot, but...
Yeah. How old is Aroldis Chapman?
Not even strike while the iron's hot. Let me amend that. Make a damn decision. Either strike while the iron's hot and trade these guys, or go out there and add to this team,
right,
and bring in some bats.
We've seen this movie every single year. And every single year, they do very little to nothing. They make moves at the margins, and it just doesn't work. So you got to pick a side.
They're going to go out there, and they're going to acquire like a Max Straw, who I've seen their name.
Miles Straw?
Miles Straw. See, I don't even know the guy's first name. No, now I think he's in Chicago. Maybe I am talking about
Sox?
Max. No, the Cubs.
The Cubs? Oh.
See, we're all over the place. We don't even know who this player is, but he's being linked to the Red Sox right now. He's hitting all of like 230 with 4 home runs this year. A rookie last year who had some pop, like 13 homers. But that's...
Well, Miles Straw is an outfielder for the Blue Jays, so you must be talking of a different Straw.
I think I'm talking about a different Straw. Look up Straw on the Cubs. Anyways, like, that's the kind of move that I have seen the Red Sox.
There is no one named Max Straw.
I'll find a Straw. Give me a second here.
It actually pulled up a scarecrow.
I can't talk and make my points at the same time while searching the internet.
I know you can't. I think you might be thinking of Miles Straw, and if so, he's playing for the Blue Jays.
No, it's a Cub. You give me a second.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I'll let you know we're brought to you by Dairy Queen in Bangor with a new DQ breakfast.
Matt Shaw. See, I told you I didn't know who I was talking about. 246 with 4 homers and 20 RBI.
So you got the last 2 letters of the last name right,
Correct.
And the first 2 letters of the first name.
Yep. But the point remains the same, which is 246, 4 home runs, 20 RBI.
Great.
That's going to be the kind of acquisition this team goes out and makes, not someone who actually makes a difference in the middle of the lineup.
Absolutely.
I would prefer they trade for someone's name who I know, not some fringe major leaguer in his sophomore campaign.
100%. Again, brought to you by Dairy Queen of Bangor, a new DQ breakfast collection. You can enjoy Cinnamon Toast Crunch dipped cones, Fruity Pebble shakes, or Choco Frosted Donut Blizzard treats, whether it's breakfast time or not. Visit 668 Broadway, Bangor. DQ, happy, it tastes good. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little NBA and the CBA as it relates to the NBPA. We're brought to you by Tim's Plumbing. Mark your calendars for Saturday, August 8th as Ricky Craven's Speedway roars to life with the Tim's Plumbing 100 featuring the Darlings Pro Stock Series and $4,000 to the winner. It's one of the biggest nights of the season. Bring the family out and experience the excitement of Ricky Craven's Speedway with Tim's Plumbing 100. Again, that's Saturday, August 8th. We're also brought to you by Casella. Good pay, good people, good life. Find your place at powerofhardwork.com. ESPN's Vince Goodwill right there saying he's not sure about Victor Wembanyama leaving a bunch of money on the table, signing a max contract, not the supermax contract, leaving about $50 million to be exact. And I have issue with 2 of his things. One, He said the players don't typically. I mean, Tom Brady did that for years with the Patriots.
Entire career.
So the best players often find ways to restructure their deals. I'm pretty sure we're in the headlines that Patrick Mahomes did something similar.
Is doing that same thing right now. Even Joe Burrow has tried to restructure his record-setting deal since signing it to get more cap space and maximize it for the team.
And then secondarily, he said that the owners never. When have we ever asked them to sacrifice? I mean, the Grosbecks certainly spent well above and beyond what they were comfortable doing to bring a title to Boston, and they, I'm sure, lost millions of dollars in the process.
Well, yeah, I mean, they did.
Then they sold the team.
They did up until it was time to cash out, right? They timed it out perfectly, where they really only cut the penalty checks for like a year or two, and then had $6.5 billion coming in their pocket to recoup that money with. It's
all play money. That's the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, this is no new issue. It's just the fact that one of the young faces of the league, Victor Wembanyama, has now, that poor man, has had to leave $50 million on the table. You know what $50 million will look like to Victor Wembanyama at the end of his NBA career? Nothing. He won't bother looking at it because it's going to be such a small piece of his portfolio. The guy is going to be worth billions of dollars. There's a chance he makes $1 billion worth of NBA salary if he hangs around for long enough and the money keeps going up. I mean, maybe not if he has to keep shaving $50 million off of his deals to allow the team to put talent around him. But this has been known. This is the issue that just dismantled the Boston Celtics 2 years after winning the title. Wasn't an issue then. Now it's just an issue because there's a face attached to having to give up the money, as opposed to both Tatum and Brown opting into what they're worth, and then the C's having to make do with the remaining 30% of the cap.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, what does the NBPA want to do about it? Because they're not going to say, well, we've got to set a smaller cap to get less money. I know exactly what they want, and that's they want more money, and they want to be able to give bigger salary caps so that Victor can get his extra $50 million, but then you can also sign everyone else you want. And at some point, like I said, it's play money. Like 5 years, $250 million to go out there and play a game. That's incredible. Like Victor Wembanyama is already set for life if he's not like just full of grifters and hanger-ons and just spending money left and right for no reason whatsoever. Like set for life, and that's before his next contract even kicks into consideration. So at a certain point, I feel like if the player wants to leave some money on the table to better his team, I would applaud you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. And that's not, like, I understand his point, well, the owners and greed and yada, 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 but it's a rounding error. And at some point, we have to stop evaluating everything by money. That's all I'm saying here. At some point, we have to say, okay, you're making X amount of dollars. That's good for you. This guy's making X amount of dollars. That's good for you. We don't need to compare ourselves because it's rounding errors on rounding errors for you. Then none of it matters. Yeah, none of it matters in the long run.
In the sports world, in what we do, it's real easy to be lazy and say Victor Wembanyama makes this much money, therefore he is better than this player that makes this much money because there are figures attached to it. It's stupidity, but it's what people do every day.
Yeah, I know, and I hate it because it's what drives. I mean, sports has become so financially.
Look at what we just went through with Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Sixth best player in the NBA as voted on by anybody who watched it last year, and the entire league orchestrates what appeared to be some sort of like, I'm not going to say that it was a conspiracy because that's way too far, but it was like a concerted effort, it seemed, on the part of the NBA to band together and be like, hey,
he's not worth that much. Yeah, I get it. I understand it, but I just, at some point when you're talking about the amount of money that we're talking about now, it no longer matters, right? It no longer matters to these guys how much money they're truly making because they're not going to look at their bank account, frankly, to make a difference. So it just doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm over it. We're brought to you by McDonald's. Order McDelivery through Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub. 2 sausage McMuffins with eggs, 2 hotcakes, 4 hash browns, 4 small hot coffees, all for just $19.99. Victor Wembanyama could buy a lot of those. The bundle deal is 40% off, and for a limited time only, order yours at your local family-owned McDonald's on Main Street, Union Street in Bangor, and Wilson Street in Brewer. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for Buzzer Beaters. Big news, Mark. If you move to Florida, you can get a sloth.
And you've lost me with the moving to Florida part.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, there was a ban on importing sloths into Florida, and they have let it expire. So it is now possible for you to bring a sloth into Florida.
Okay. I feel like there are more harmful things in Florida than sloths.
Probably. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they could be harmful to something.
What are they?
Snails? I don't know.
Yeah. Who goes faster, a snail or a sloth?
That's a question I don't have an answer to.
Well, that's one for the internet, but too much typing.
They initiated the ban recently, and that was because a new place called Sloth World, it was an attraction that was coming. Dozens of sloths there died.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they had to investigate as to what was happening. Apparently, the investigation is over because they're saying it's fine again and you can bring in the sloths. So if you wanted to own a sloth, Florida, you can do so.
They just think the sloths were like allergic to Florida? Because that would be valid. If you are unable to gather, I'm not a big fan of Florida.
I can tell. All right. That does it for our show today. Back at it tomorrow. Mark and Ernie will be on these airwaves. Mark, do you have anything you want to add before we go?
Don't forget the morning roast.
That's
Weekdays,
nice.
6 to 8 a.m.
There you go. See you tomorrow.